Well, hello everyone, this is comrade-Sirius. Welcome to a very special episode of Let Me Show You Something. Because, as you can see, there are some dirt roads and there are some palm trees and wooden bridges and so on. Yes, this is Asian map. It's something like, something resembling Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia. As you can see, it has buildings with unique architecture, and well, this building in the middle is a church. Well, to be fair, it's called a temple. All of this is part of the new map pack, new DLC that will be Biomes. I don't know the price yet, it has not been published, but I am allowed to show you, so here we are. You have seen the sceneries in preview at the beginning of this video, and it's, pretty self-explanatory, though with some minor details, and you will see them later on. This is the map of Asia. That's basically what it is. It's an Asian style map, so it's a subtropical biome. It has no winter, or as you can see, it's basically February, and once we press cheat mode, we can play with seasons. For example, in general, events add week, and if you see, we can just list through days and weeks, and even when we reach something like December, there is no snow at all. Temperatures do not react for the fast clicking, so you can see it. By the way, we currently have an epidemic. They might be really strong here, so we'll see. I do not know all the details about these maps. Basically, what you can do absolutely is that everything else stays the same. Your architecture is always the same, especially with things like depots. So if you just place those buildings, you have the same vehicle park. There is no restrictions, so that's completely up to you. This is a populated map, and you can see it has a lot of workers, though, and as you can see, it shows inactive workers, which is nice. Inactive workers are those hibernating. You basically activate these workers by giving them some place to queue for work or to work. So if I would place a bus stop right here, you can see all of them are inactive, but at the very moment I would just press this stop, you can see these guys would be able to work, so they start being active. And obviously you can see low education, higher education children, and they would start demanding all their needs they usually want, so they will complain that they do not have job, power supply, and so on. The key feature of this map is it's basically like something like an easy map, so you can play whatever you want. It has creators did a really nice work, so that's a good thing. And it's have reasonable landscape. These red rocks are everywhere instead of the classic ones, and they are looking really good. And the jungle is simply amazing. If there is anything else I haven't been able to find out what's different about this map compared to standard ones, obviously, if you don't mind seasons, and yes, I do have them on, unlike other things, but seasons we do have on, we have enabled. But Thailand pretty much doesn't have a snow. It has 21 degrees. I don't know if any overheating will have a problem, but it hasn't been such in a way in this game. So that's about it. Well, let's jump to another map. Well, the second map on today's menu is Arabia, and you can see it. It has a sun, it has deserts, it has scarce trees, It has a river and some settlements, so don't get me wrong, it's not completely empty, but it's very different. So let's look at what has changed. Let's zoom into a city. Here you see a mosque. That's, pretty self-explanatory. It has lower basic population. So, because why not? And yeah, I have experimented with some stops. Or at least there are some stops, maybe, somewhere. Who knows? But, it's a nice sound. What is different about this map, except, architecture and stuff, is how it looks. If you look at the map, there are some green spots. You are not used to them from standard maps, and these green spots are land with good moisture. Because if you take a look at fields and you would like to place them, you can see it has humidity. It's basically another level of fertility of maximum possible fertile land. So as you can see, here is like 97, here is 435%. That's a big difference. So no more huge farms. You will play with terrain on these types of maps. The terrain type is called Oasis, and if you would like to know it, you just go into cheat menu with enabled cheats, and you can take into landscape monitor, where with edited rocks you have paint. You have Oasis. That's these types, and that's this green. If you want to take a look, it's like this. It's basically like a resource, similar to where you paint resources in here, like bauxite and so on. And yeah, it will provide a whole new level of gameplay. Because you will need to fit your fields into these oases, otherwise they won't produce anything. You obviously have no winter, and it's really hot out there, but nobody cares for air conditioning, so that goes out of the window, which is nice. But fields, yeah, sustaining this region will be really interesting, and it will be, you wouldn't want to waste these lands. I'm now in the middle, but if we go closer to edges of the map, you can see these oases getting, in some parts of the country, they are really scarce. So it's up to you how you will deal with it. It will be really interesting in terms of gameplay. I'm really looking forward to trying this out. And then, to be fair, I hope you do. But if you remember, this is only a second map of those three. And I don't know if the last one is the best, but let's go there. Well, this is the last map of this Trinity, and it seems pretty normal, and it is pretty normal. It has one great detail. Some of you have been asking for it, many of you didn't, but you can take a look. It has a lot of pine trees. You can see those. It has some native architecture. It has even churches. You can see those. And it has, Eastern names. And yes, we are in, I wouldn't say Russia, but general in northern conditions, in tundra conditions. In the first map, we have had Asia, subtropical. Then we have Arabia, it's almost, it's really dry climate. And now we have a tundra. Look at this date up here, it's 10th of May. And that has something to do with why we are here and why we are here in May. This map, unlike others, is just a simple map. Well, simple. It's absolutely beautiful. It's really great to look at. And you can see it has a lot of hills as well, so it will provide an excellent playground for everyone to play with. It has only few customs, basically one on each side, and it has really stunning terrain. The stones and mountains are generally better looking than in the vanilla game, though vanilla game did see some changes. And yes, the biggest part is again the agriculture. As you can see, there's no humidity, there are no special signs on anywhere on the map. The only thing that has changed is those days. Because in Siberia and in North, winters are much longer. So if we come here, add some weeks, you can say we are in June. And yes, these climates are, there are some temperatures really, we can say really easy. It's summer, September, October, and as you can see, 12th of October it already snows. This is not a joke. In standard maps, it starts to snow on 13th of November, so this is basically a month before, maybe more than a month before. And it's already like -6. So agriculture under these conditions is gonna be pretty challenging, because if we go further up, you can see it doesn't change, it's not done. And if we wait a moment, like in December and New Year's, just look and behold on these temperatures. I don't know what's the highest, if it's -30, or definitely -39. I don't know if it can go below -40. Ah, it can. 41. I'm basically speeding up the simulation to see if it goes below. Yeah, 43. -43 Celsius. -46. Ouch. These climates will be really hard in terms of, do you know what your consumption is? Looks like -46 is the highest. Do you know how hard it will be for your heating plant to catch up with these temperatures to be able to sustain your populations? It's not only about agriculture. This is the hardest one of these three, absolutely. But this is not gonna be easy. It's gonna be fun, but it's not going to be easy. And it will be up to you to plan your heating correctly, because if we close this, you can see heating plants are still the same, but for heating there are two things that matters. One is capacity of the heating plant itself, and distance, how far these pipes, be it small or large, how far they are, because they lose temperature over distance. But it's not too hard, or at least it wasn't. In these winter conditions it will be a problem. Though you can see these houses are pretty okay. And they have nothing, but they have a church, so that's nice. On the other hand, it's much more important to have heat exchangers closer to your houses, because even though theoretical distances are 400 meters in terms of the grid, so if we look at the grid, it's sideways. For example, this house, it's 400. It should be 400 meters this way, but as you can see up there, it's much more. It's not complete 400 meters, okay, it's 380. But it doesn't matter, they are not covered, they will not be able to heat it up, because over this Wi-Fi distance, heat gets lost much faster. So finally, setups of like, big heating plant, then a big pipe to a pumping station, like this one, and then splitting into few more small heat exchangers will make sense, because otherwise it will be really hard to, you know, have this all running. Again, everyone are inactive workers, which is as it should be. That's nice. And do you remember those dates? 10th of May? Yeah. It was not a coincidence. In the spring, you are full 2 months shorter. So between May and October, you need, if you want to plant your crops, you need to plant them, harvest them, and get them home. So usage for big fields is probably not, because I think you know this, but I will say it. The field starts to grow only when it's fully sown, when the tractor leaves. Then it starts to grow. So having, for example, 3 small fields instead of 1 medium results in the crops start finishing faster, finishing their growth faster. Same goes for 3 medium fields and 1 big field. Because by the time the big field will get finished, those medium fields will have significant portions of them grown. And that will play a huge difference on this map. So that's it. Map with easy job and nice jungle settings. Map with desert where you need to look for houses. And map with not eternal winter, but map with really long winters. I hope you liked it. That's all I have for you today. I don't know when the DLC will come out, but feel free to check it out. And, well, that's all. Have a nice day.